Hello everyone, my name is Tyler McDonald. I am the Technical Services Manager here at Iris, and today I'm just going to do a quick demonstration of some of the newer features that have been adapted into the Sentry Connect cloud platform. Some of these features have been reviewed previously in various demonstrations and conferences, but I'm going to cover them all anyway, as these are things that were not originally implemented and have now been fully implemented into the Sentry system. So first and foremost, we have the dashboard. When you first log into the screen through the Sentry, so if I were to log out here and log back in after putting my email and password in, I will immediately be taken to the dashboard, which is basically the hub for your company. Here we have your company favorite tags. These are all the tags that specifically labeled to be on the sort of forefront of your view. You can add additional items by clicking the Add button in the near center of the screen, which will give you an option menu to look at all tags, search by description, site, building, location, and their alarm state. So if you wanted to build a set just based off critical alarms or just by a location, you can filter and get just those values. You can also click on one of these and remove it by clicking the Remove button. And once you have one of those selected in your favorites menu, you can see that the graph here in the bottom left updates according to which one is selected. Now, you can also additionally change the unit value for the monitoring section. So, for example, if I want to change this to decibels for an ultrasound inspection, I can see the trending for decibels recorded through this time frame, which I can also change. Now, you can also see here in the faded light gray here is the alarm level that's been assigned. So I have an alarm measurement. It can show it to me that 3/27/2018, I have a measurement of 29 over an alarm measurement of 41. So this is a way that I can use that information to sort of rapidly determine how things are going. Now, on the right-hand side, I have alarmed tags. This section is entirely dedicated to the most recent inspection reports coming in from a tag, labeling it as having an alarm state. So that is low, medium, and critical. Now, those alarm states, as long as they are the last reported for that tag, they will remain on this alarm tags list. Once it's been updated, it'll be removed from the list. I can click on one of these tags and see the last check-in. This is where the actual alarm data is verified. So as you can see, it was last alarm state is low alarm. I can see check-in history, see what kind of trend it may be having, create a monitoring graph, to take a look at the information. And back at the dashboard, I can also see the assigned routes. Here, I can see all active routes. Those are routes that have not been completed yet. Let's see. Okay. So we have two tags here that have not yet been checked in. It is incomplete. I can also review completed routes, routes that have been finished, as well as all routes if necessary. The last two features that we're going to walk through are the monitoring and custom graph features. Now, the monitoring feature has actually been around for a little while now. It has been in the last couple of updates for the Sentry system, primarily so that people could graph their data. If we go to a actual tag page, so if you go to tags and then you search for the tag you're looking for, let's see, find filter. When you go to that specific tags page, you again can see the latest check-in, which shows all the most relevant information that was recently posted to that tag, so the last information that was updated. You have check-in history as usual, which has all the different records, and then monitoring. Now, monitoring is originally intended for a one-asset system, something like a transformer or a generator, where it is a monitoring position for the device as a whole. And that worked just fine for being able to pull all the specific types of inspections by unit. So, for example, I can generate a graph here by doing unit decibels and then changing the time frame to match what I'm looking for, and I can see all the decibel values. Here is an example of a problem with the existing system. So unbeknownst to me, as I'm sort of doing this graph, I've been doing check-ins based on specific parts of that equipment. So for example, we have here that I have an assembly line, and I have an inspection point ID with bearing number 2. Now I have had multiple bearings inspected on this particular tag. So if I was going about doing multiple inspections, let's say there's 10 bearings, I've done an inspection for each one twice, all of that information would show up in the monitoring graph across the in one place. So it would show up like this, where I've got all just the same inspection. But inside of these, some of these are bearing 1, and some of these are bearing 2. If I wanted to separate those out into a new graph, I go to Custom Graph, and I go to Add Data Point. By going to Add Data Point, I can see the inspection point ID and bearing 2 and bearing 1. So now I can select bearing 1, click Done, and this is the graph for only bearing number 1. And I can actually see right here the measurement values I've been listed, the trend of for this action over time. I can either remove individual sections, so I can look at only things that are over the critical value, critical alarms, or I can always, if I want to say build bearing number 2's data plot, I can see here the trend, and I can clear data by clicking this button. That is the overview of all the new features available on the eSentry cloud. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.